Hello, Brad here, just to say we're super proud that the Friday 5pm podcast is sponsored by the Malt Miller, the UK's best home brew store.
We use the Malt Miller for all of our homebrew experiments, as well as tapping them up for advice and binging on their awesome YouTube channel all the time.
That's why whenever we release a homebrew video, we put a recipe kit live on the Malt Miller, so you can brew with the exact same amazing ingredients that we did. The same ingredients used by pro brewers.
So alongside the Malt Miller's nitro-flushed hops, cold-stored yeast and milled-to-order malts, you can pick up recipe kits for our 5 Points Best Bitter, Russian River West Coast IPA, and now the fastest beer in the world, a hazy session IPA that goes from grain to glass in less than 48 hours.
Sign up to their newsletter at tinyurl.com/Malt Miller to get 5% off your first order. With the Malt Miller's amazing customer service and Johnny's 48-hour recipe, you could order the ingredients on a Monday and be drinking the beer by the weekend.
Speaking of which, it's Friday.
It's 5pm.
So enjoy this week's Friday 5pm podcast. We're going to start this week with an apology. Do you know what we're apologising for, Brad?
For not doing last week's podcast?
Yeah, exactly that. I was wondering whether I could trick you into admitting something else.
Oh yeah,
but no.
Oh,
you're clearly innocent this week.
We've done loads of bad stuff. I mean, I can apologise for eating way too much Domino's pizza when I got in last night, a bit drunk, and then feeling quite unwell for quite a long time.
How much is too much Domino's pizza?
Well, I bought one large Domino's pizza because we were out drinking. Well, we were out filming yesterday, but there was quite a lot of drinking involved.
I can't believe you mixed up filming and drinking, Bradley. You're going to give them the wrong impression.
I know, right? But we were drinking all sorts, weren't we? We had some sort of hype train stuff going on. Lots of...
Yeah, can I just say, we were filming yesterday, but Brad turns up 5 minutes late.
No, I wasn't.
Having had no breakfast,
I wasn't
no lunch, and then orders an Augustina Hellers.
Yeah. But I needed to get my buzz on, Johnny, because I had to meet a new person.
That's one way of doing it.
I'm quite shy, so I had to meet a new person in Kyle, and I was intimidated, so I needed a little bit of a sweet hell buzz from little Augustina. So yeah. Anyway. So I can apologise.
Anyway, back to how much pizza is too much pizza. Presumably, it's a whole large because you'll want to keep a couple of slices for the next day.
No, I ate half a large pizza, but I think,
and that was too much.
Yeah, it really did me over. Like sometimes Domino's, if you don't have it for a long time, I'm by no means sponsored by Domino's, by the way. I really love like great sourdough pizza, made of dough in Peckham is one of I think the best sourdough pizzas going. And there's various other ones that I would highly recommend. Pizza Pilgrim's great as a chain. Franco Manca, of course. All of these guys, and then lots of little guys as well. Sodo coming to Deptford soon. But I do occasionally, when I'm drunk, really appreciate the taste of a Domino's pizza. There's something about the sauce. The sauce is very satisfying to me.
It's probably MSG.
I think it must have MSG. It's certainly very sweet. It's got lots of sugar going on, and I've sort of hacked this pizza together where you can get any size pizza for like I think it's $10.99 or something, but I get a New Yorker, Johnny. I subtract the mushrooms, I subtract the pepperoni, I add extra sauce, and I add. This is pretty mind blowing. I add pesto onto it, so Domino's now does pesto, believe it or not, as a topping.
What?
Yeah.
So wait, what? Okay, first question: what's left on a New Yorker once you've taken away the ham and the mushroom?
No, I keep the ham. I take pepperoni off. So I got
there's ham and pepperoni on
and
there,
there's bacon on there. So I've got like ham and bacon. I've got extra tomato sauce, and then I've got extra pesto sauce on top. So it's like it looks like the Green Hulk when you open the box. It is.
I'm not sure about this, Brad.
Mate,
I mean, no wonder you feel ill.
It's a flavour sensation.
Thicker sauce plus pesto plus two kinds of pork.
Yeah. So I felt a bit unwell after all those.
This is a nice link to the reason that we missed the podcast last week, which is that we were on a 4-day road trip around the UK filming our next feature-length documentary,
Exciting.
everyone.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Incredibly exciting, and we're that's probably all the details we're going to give you for now, but it is this project that we've been trying for a long time. But we've been investigating a certain style, and we're going to be brewing an unusual and modern version of it in a feature-length documentary. But the reason I bring that up is A, to say that's why we missed the podcast. We were hoping to do it, but we just ran out of time. We were too busy filming. But we also, on the Thursday night, we ended up at Dig Brew in Digbeth, Birmingham, and had a wonderful time drinking great beer and eating great Detroit-style pizza, those big tray-baked doughy ones. And that broke our cameraman.
It did.
So our cameraman Tom, who we met in our Jamie Oliver days, is in the prime of his life, peak fitness.
Yeah, mate. I mean,
he has a great channel called TreaderTube, and he's muscle bound, and he's done Ninja Warrior UK.
Yeah, he's literally nearly won Ninja Warrior UK. He's hench. He's gorgeous. He's got longer hair than me. Because I've chopped my hair off. He's basically like a better version of me. My girlfriend went, "Oh, he's like a better version of you, isn't he?" Sort of thing. So,
wow.
Well, she didn't say that, but it was intonated.
You inferred it.
Yeah, I was like, "What the?" I was like, "Oh yeah," I could. Yeah, he's like a fitness model dude, isn't he?
He even wore a jazzy shirt that was a little bit Bradley.
Mate, he did, didn't he? I was like, I nearly told him to pipe down at that point. I was like, you want to go and change, son? This is my vibes. Don't start wearing the jazzy shirts.
Well, what he can't do, his kryptonite seems to be carbohydrate, because he had 5 pints with us, and a Detroit-style pizza, and that broke him. He was up during the night as a result.
Yeah, vomit.
And we blame the sheer amount of gluten.
Yeah, it was
put through this temple of a body.
It was a gluttonous affair. Let's be honest. It was pretty full on. But
not gluttonous, glutinous.
Glutinous and gluttonous as well, though. Like we ate and drank so much. Props to Ollie. Shout out Ollie at Dig Brew for making such an evening for us there.
He did. He looked after us well, and his reward was to taste some. So you'll find out in next week's episode. Yeah. But I took some IPAs of the double IPA for Brad to taste, and that was in the boot of the car for 3 days, in absurd temperatures, in direct light. And unsurprisingly, when we cracked it open to taste it, it was horrific.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
So you're welcome, Ollie.
Yeah.
Thanks for the hospitality.
Yeah.
So yes, that's why we missed last week's podcast and what we've been doing with our lives. The other thing we've been doing, which is what led to Brad nearly breaking himself with gluten, was, we met Kyle of Clawhammer Supply yesterday. An amazing channel. If you're a home brewer, you have to go check it out if you haven't already. They do lots of wild and exciting things with homebrew, with distillation, and have an incredible setup, and indeed make their own homebrew equipment. It's a super cool channel. And we met with Kyle at Caps and Taps in North London and filmed 4 videos, including tasting each other's homebrews and reviewing them in sort of a hype train style way. He also brought some burial over, which we got to try for a hype train, and I can tell you it lived up to the hype. It's the best hype train we've done, I think.
Mate, the thing that surprised me was how good they were at all the different styles that he brought. And it was like a vast array of styles. And they were all amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, I should say there were beers that we didn't actually put in the video. So we try a lager, a Westie, a New England, and a pastry stout. But there was also Kolsch and other things going on. And it was all stellar. And then we took Carl to the Southampton Arms, the best pub in the world. And we did a little feature on Cask for his channel, which I don't know when that'll be live, because he's currently, I was about to say, prancing around France.
He's going to on a wine sort of thing.
Yeah, Weenay.
Weenay with a lady. Oh, I can't remember her name. She had a good name. Wine and Dine and Caroline.
Wine and Dine Caroline, was it? Yeah, something like that. Which is not a channel I know, but I'm going to be checking that out.
He said it had like 500 subscribers or something, but now obviously she's going to blow up after featuring on the Bubble. Friday 5 p.m, not Bubble.
Well, more importantly, Clawhammer Supply.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that might help.
They're nearly as big as us subs-wise. Yeah.
But Carl was a nice guy, wasn't he? Hopefully,
he
might get
really
out
nice guy. Great background, interesting story.
Yeah, definitely. Can we talk a bit about his story, or should we move on? What do you think? I just like the fact he was a construction worker, and then kind of changed up what he did in his life.
Yeah, sort of applied those skills to making stills, and then it sort of snowballed.
It's pretty cool. He also looks.
Yeah, so that story will be in our video.
He looks
so
like
you can hear it in full.
Dennis Reynolds from, and he doesn't mind me saying that because I think he even pointed out himself from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and he's even made a beer called the Golden God, which is, if anyone's watched It's Always Sunny, they'll get the reference straight away. Dennis refers to himself as a golden god because he's a sociopath. And he thinks he's better than everyone else or whatever. But Kyle was absolutely lovely. He wasn't a sociopath.
Not a sociopath. Kyle, not a sociopath.
But man, yeah, so come back full circle from Domino's Pizza and then back to beer, Johnny. You've put out a video this week about your brew day experience for our double IPA with Cloudwater.
Yeah, and it was a shorter video than expected because it was, usually there's a lot of fun to be had in the video at the very least, not on the day, in the brew day going wrong in some capacity.
Yeah.
And this week we always try to put something new in there, something experimental to try and show people new techniques, new products, and to have a bit of fun and a bit of danger ourselves. But the hot product, I mean, I got to have a bit of fun because I couldn't fucking get the pipette to work, but. Other than that, it was probably the smoothest brew day I've had filming for the channel.
Can you put that down to the easy dens, or do you think it's just a combination of Brad not being there, you not wearing any footwear?
I was thinking that.
Come on, I'm not that bad. I'm not that distracting, surely. But,
do you know what? Here's a bit of behind the scenes gossip. So that day. That wasn't even the first beer I brewed that day. I brewed 2 beers that day, and both were smooth as you like. I think I've just, I never quite understood when brewers talk about their process and about, you get new equipment, you have to dial in your process and all this kind of stuff. And I always thought that was about flavour. It was about getting the best from your equipment.
Yeah.
And I've been getting the best from the Grainfather for quite a while, but I haven't been getting the best from my brew days. I've still, things have caught me unawares. I haven't been prepared for stuff. There's bits of equipment that I keep thinking, I need to buy that to make that easier and never do. But I think I might have just about reached that point.
So you got your processes down.
Yeah, exactly. So the practical side of it is pretty much there now.
So it's like, I think, is it like an American army saying or something? Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Would you say that is your kind of approach to working now? Like
smooth is fast, yeah.
Yeah. Something along those lines.
I think so. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, and all of the comments that I've picked out from this week's video are all around the fact that at the end of the video I addressed that. I'm like, this has felt weirdly calm. I enjoyed Solitary Bee said, taunting the gods, Johnny, by claiming an easy brew day and nothing's gone wrong, while prancing around barefoot around hot wort in the kettle. Which, I was barefoot, which I don't usually do for very obvious reasons.
Yes.
But it was quite a warm day, and I went barefoot, and nothing went wrong.
You've usually,
so take that, gods.
Well, take that, gods. I was about to read that comment out, Johnny. How dare you? Yes, but normally you're rocking a sort of like pair of, they're like Crocs, but are they actually Crocs? Or are they?
No, they're knockoff Crocs, but also they don't have holes in, so that if you do splash hot water, and they are waterproof.
They're Knox.
Yeah.
They're Knox. Knockoff
They're
Crocs.
Knox, yeah. Knockoff Crocs.
Do you think we can get sponsored by Crocs? What do you think? Do they make Crocs without holes for brewers? They could call them Brocs for brewers. Brocs. I reckon. I've been walking around talking of foot related injuries. Been walking around in my Kivu, I think they're called Kavu, whatever, sandals, like action sandals, for a few weeks now. Even when we were shooting, I was just wearing sandals. I can't wear flip flops. I think I've already gone into this on the channel. My feet, I feel like I'm going to fall over the whole time. But these are like, they offer so much support. There's loads of straps on them, Johnny. But this morning, I've had a sofa delivered, and I put on the fucking sandals again, stupidly, and I've managed to bash my big toenie, and my big toenail is basically split in half. So,
oh my God.
So I'm like looking at it, and the weird thing is I didn't even feel it. I didn't feel it at all when I did it. I was like, oh shit, I've kicked my foot a bit, but I do that sort of stuff all the time. But when I looked down, I was like, oh my God, I've got a proper injury on my toe. So I've just had to like shave down my toenail quite severely. And I'm going.
Why do we always go to these places on this podcast?
Because
what is it with you?
My life is full of jeopardy, Johnny. Tomorrow,
Well, yeah, but it's also self-inflicted. Look, Brad turned up to a laboratory, last week for this filming in fucking sandals, and you could just see as he walked around. He's in his lab coat. for reasons for sanitary reasons, and then he's just got his feet out in a yeast laboratory.
Yeah. I added some yeast to there, I'll tell you.
Jesus.
When no one was looking, I took my sandals off. I was like,
oh God.
I was doing roly-polies. I was doing like backflips. I was sliding. I did like that Tom Cruise slide in that film when his early Tom Cruise film where he slides into the room when he's a young man. I did that down the corridor. Very squeaky. Got no skin left on my feet after I did it. Friction is a terrible thing. But why did we get onto this? Oh yeah, because you weren't wearing any. Yeah, you're silly as well though. You could have burnt all your legs up and everything from not wearing any shoes, mate. When you're brewing, bad, Johnny, bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we both do like our feet to be free.
Well, I don't
but
normally.
I don't then talk about shaving down toenails on our podcast. Or turn up to a laboratory, up to a sanitary environment where we had to wear face masks, people were in hairnets, and you're just there. And also, Brad wore shorts so short that you couldn't see that he was wearing them with the lab coat on. So he looked like he was doing that sexy thing of turning up in just a raincoat. Yeah. But it was Brad in a lab coat with his sandals on.
In an XXL lab coat, because they didn't have any actual lab coats that fitted anyone. But yeah, so I was going to go somewhere else, and I've totally forgot where I was going to go. I was going to go somewhere less.
It's probably for the best, to be honest.
Yeah,
you split your toenail, and we're calling an end to that particular discussion. What comments did you find on the video?
So I've got a comment from JPCRXINAZ. Kripknes said, "I'm freaked out when I watch these videos. I'm the American twin to this guy," talking about you. "It's like watching myself, but with a British accent. I have 100% British ancestry." Not sure why that's relevant. I'm a home...
Well, I think he's trying to imply we might be related.
Oh, you're related. Oh, I see. I'm a home brewer and a beer fanatic. Super weird.
Oh my God, we might be.
My doppelganger, I guess. And that sent me down... when I read that, it sent me down the path of thinking of funny doppelgangers. So... you've probably done this before, but if you Google, and this is anyone at home as well, Russian Leonardo DiCaprio, it's very entertaining because there's a guy who's I think he's an airport. What is he? He's a Russian security guard, and he looks like a very unwell, bloated Leonardo DiCaprio with like sickly little recessed eyeballs. But he's undeniably looks like Leonardo DiCaprio. So I was wondering what your American counterpart might look like.
He really does.
What might he look like? Maybe he looks like a better version of you. Maybe he looks like a worse version of you. Very much like, I wouldn't say I'm by no means a doppelganger of Tom, but he looks like a much greatly improved, taller, sexier.
Oh, stop, Bradley! You're perfect.
So there's a lot of doppelgangers going on, Johnny. Lots of doppelgangers.
Well, what we need to do is I'm going to reply to that comment.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to reply to that comment right now, live on the channel, and hopefully by the time we finish recording this, he'll have replied because I'm going to say, "Hey, oh God, JBCR Zinash,
get a better name." Number one.
We need a picture.
Yeah, we do need a
Email
picture.
us at craftbeerboys@gmail.com.
Nice.
It's probably going to get flagged as spam by YouTube.
Yeah,
but
it does sound pretty spammy.
Hopefully he'll reply and we'll be able to see. People say I look like Landon Donovan, the footballer. That's the one I always get.
You've told me this before. I don't know who he is. I think I've looked.
Well, yeah, I mean, I realise I'm not talking to the correct person for this, but you can have a look at that.
Landon Donovan. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you have mentioned this guy.
He's basically just a brunette guy with a big forehead. That's about where the similarity ends.
He looks like one of those sort of model guys that does like catalog models or something. It's got like a bit of a weird look on
You're very kind.
on his,
Thank
but
you.
because of his facial expression,
Yeah,
Johnny.
thank you.
Yeah, just take it,
Oh.
just take it. But oh mate, he's ripped when he's got his shirt off. But fair play.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Oh, I
Me
know,
too,
I
mate.
know. Yeah. Obviously, me too. But yeah, okay. I see a resemblance. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good stuff. I don't know where I'm going to go from here, but I used to get told I look like various different people when I was younger, which I won't go into, but they were quite flattering.
Naughty people.
No, not naughty people, quite good people. I was like, oh, thanks, that's nice. But
you're worried you've lost it now.
Yeah. I'm not as handsome as no. So not saying I was ever handsome, but I'm definitely not as handsome as I used to be. So, when I met someone the other day, a cleaner, right? She said to me, "Oh, you don't look anything like your picture that was on my phone and that was only from like a couple of years ago." I was like, "Oh shit, I must look terrible." She like literally, she didn't mean to diss me, but she kind of dissed me, Johnny, and I felt like, oh man, maybe I look bad these days. And then I sort of cut a lot of hair off. Well, that was mainly because of the heat, but it made me feel a bit insecure.
It's quite a sad image, like Brad being told by a cleaner that he doesn't look as handsome as he used to, and then just sobbing into the mirror and cutting off his hair.
Exactly. It's
not an image I want to think about,
or
indeed our listeners.
That's what happens,
so
Johnny.
Should we get back to beer?
No, I'm just staring at Russian Leonardo DiCaprio's, like, well, his eyes are just like I think there's a dog that looks like Leonardo DiCaprio as well. Like, there's a dog that looks like Putin. Are you aware of that?
There is, yeah.
Very Putin-looking dog. Very Putin.
And didn't like he try to sue Warner Brothers because Dobby from Harry Potter looked like him or something? I can't.
He does look like him.
Can't quite remember.
I don't even watch Harry Potter, but I know that little gremlin dude looks like Putin. It's brilliant. Do you think the computer modeler guy modelled him on Putin's face? Is Dobby a lovable character or is he a shit? I don't know.
No, he's a good guy.
Oh, okay.
He's a bit annoying.
Okay. Hilarious. He does look like Putin.
Anyway, Bradley, beer. We're a beer podcast. We're a beer YouTube channel.
Got a question for me, Johnny.
We got a question this week.
Go on, mate.
Which pertains to glassware. It's from James Newman, who's already sent in a question about glassware, but we reckon it was a year ago, as he explains. And he's got a follow-up question.
Well, hang on. He's got another question about glassware.
Yeah, it's a big topic.
Does he work for like the glassware pro glassware board or something? What's with all the glassware questions? Well,
I think he just really likes glassware. Let's
okay.
I mean, he really likes the right glassware. So let's let him speak for himself.
Hey guys, so I'm just got a comment. I don't know if you remember, I sent a voice message to your podcast about a good year ago and you had it on your show about had it on your podcast about the glassware and how I grew up in Belgium and they have amazing glassware. And I think I was a bit annoyed that in the UK you just get the standard pint glass, and it'd be nice to have a bit more, different types of glasses, or at least have the brand on each pint glass for the beer that you're having. And I'll just say that I might be just in my mind, but I feel like since that podcast I have seen more of it in the UK. I went to a brewery, Brockley Brewery, which is a small brewery in South London, and they had a pint glass, standard pint glass, but with their branding, Brockley Brewery, on the side of the glass. I also noticed when I was in Bristol, I had a Korev lager, great lager by the way, from St. Austell's Brewery, and they had not just St. Austell's Brewery, but they had Korev written on the pint glass, and they also had half pint glasses as well. So I just thought that was great that they made the effort to do that, and I just think more breweries should do that. I think it's kind of basic marketing. Obviously, if you've got it comes with upfront costs, I imagine, to do all this stuff. So not every brewery is going to be able to afford to do that, but I just think it's really good basic marketing that every brewery should try to do. And so yeah, I was just commenting on that. I think it is happening a bit more. I also think it would be great if you guys could do a video as well on glassware and how that affects the taste of the beer that you're having. Again, it might just be in my head, it might just be psychological, placebo. But if I have a Weiss beer, let's say, in a Weiss beer glass, it tastes 10 times better. If I have a proper pint in a pint glass, then it just tastes a lot better. So if I have a Belgian beer, I want it in a Belgian beer style glass. So it'd be cool if you guys did a video on that. Maybe you already have. How it affects the taste. You know, whether that's just psychological or whether it's just the chemistry, the way you smell the beer as it comes up. Anyway. Keep up the good work, guys. Cheers. Bye.
So from that slightly long question, in which I'm not 100% sure a question was asked, I'm kind of presuming that James is wondering, A, why aren't more breweries still doing their own glassware? To which the answer is literally cost and you bastards. Because having worked for a beer distributor where we did special glassware for certain brands, they just get stolen constantly. So it's not like you spend $1,500 on a couple of hundred glasses and then you're done. You have to do it like every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
You know, once you start, you can't stop because, you know, you're giving this glassware often for free to these pubs and then people just nick them.
Mate,
so it's a huge expense.
I've certainly been I've done that in my time. As a younger man, I've stolen glassware, which I'd never do anymore, obviously.
So you're the reason.
Yeah, I know.
You're the reason. I mean, I've definitely stolen a lot of Guinness glasses in my life.
Yeah. We've all done it, which is why it doesn't make any sense for these companies to get it, because they know we all do it. So why would they? Why would they inflict that on themselves?
Yeah, and the nicer the glass, the more likely it is to be stolen.
Yeah. I mean, I had a few different ones that anyway, I'm not going to go into what I've got because that makes me look really bad. But
just literally listing your crimes on a podcast.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. But yeah. Also, was the question like about why don't they have different kinds of glassware as well? Like, so not even just choose one style. It's like, why don't you have like 3 different styles of glassware? Like, because it's money, right?
And, I mean, again, it's
expensive.
Minimum.
I mean,
orders. A glass to put minimum order is probably about 500 or so.
Yeah.
And they'll be costing, if you're only ordering that many, you're probably paying about just under £2 per glass plus VAT.
Yeah.
And then you've got the printing costs, the printing setup costs, the delivery costs, the storage costs, and then the endless replacement costs. So if you do that for just one style of glass, that's a big outlay. You do that for your IPA, your Weiss beer, and your Pilsner, that's significant cost. So, it is sort of basic marketing and it is powerful marketing, but it's whether it's kind of worth it, which is why you see like in tap rooms and stuff where people probably aren't going to steal the glassware. They're probably going to buy it because they're there to support that particular business because they love that business. You'll see it a lot in tap rooms, but in pubs, it's just pissing money into the wind. That bizarre mixed metaphor there.
I sort of...
So yeah, sadly that's why it won't happen.
I remember, because I'm 39 now, I remember when I was about 20 years old and you go to the pub. I'm not talking... I mean, I used to drink in a lot of real ale pubs. I say a lot. There was only a few in Beckenham where I grew up. But occasionally when I'd, stray off the path into a more of a kind of Weatherspoons type situation, they'd have, all of the kind of like massive macro beer brands would like launch these new glasses quite often that had unique things about them. So like have a twist in them. So when you held it was like ergonomic or something. Or they'd have, a nucleation patch that was supposedly better than the others and it made it more effervescent. None of this helped, Johnny, because it was just drinking horrible, shitty, tasteless macro lager out of them. So what's the point? But the point was, marketing is incredibly powerful. You can literally get people to drink pissy, flavourless, colourless beer, macro beer, if you put it in an interesting glass. Or you certainly could 20 years ago when I was a lad.
I definitely think it's still true. Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, there are still some great macro beers that do deserve a slightly better glass, but I don't think any of these glasses were designed to make the actual beer taste better, maybe to make the drinking experience a little bit better. But I mean, James also asked, with the correct glassware, is it placebo or is it genuine, reality? And to be honest, what I would say is you can definitely over-engineer a glass, Stiglau. It doesn't take a lot to make a great glass of beer. There's a couple of simple things you need. You need the bowl of the glass to be wider than the opening of the glass so that it collects aroma in the glass and then you can get it out. You need just about the right width of opening so that you can get your face in there, but you don't want it too big because then it will start to escape. A nucleation point might be really helpful to ensure head retention and stuff like that. It needs to be good quality glass so that there's less surface area for the bubbles to attach to, so you get that sort of dirty glassware look, and that helps kill head and decarbonate the beer quicker. So all of those things are really important. Beyond that, there's not a huge amount that you can do to improve things, and I know that there'll be lots of studies that might imply that very small differences are made, but I think at that point that is kind of placebo. If you drink a beer, like James said, from a Weiss beer glass and it tastes better, I think that is because you're following the traditions. You've seen it on TV, you've done it in Germany, and it just feels like it's the right way to present something. Like, eating from a nice clean white plate will taste different to eating from some weird like black square one that your friends have for no apparent reason.
Hey, what's wrong with black square plates? They make food look like you're from a fine dining restaurant of the 1980s. What's wrong with that?
Lots wrong with that, but you illustrated my point perfectly.
Square plates, though, they're wrong, aren't they? What's that about?
They are
stupid. Definitely.
And there are lots of studies to sort of show that, if you eat from a square plate, you'll find the food like more angular, so like acidic or bitter or whatever it is, and all this kind of stuff. And
really?
that probably is true. I'm not going to argue with science.
Great stuff.
But, it's very minimal. It's done under conditions where people are being asked to look for those kinds of things. And I think that the most important thing with glassware is that it feels nice in your hand, it keeps the beer well,
yes,
and it suits the kind of experience you're kind of going for. So Brad and I are starting to look into the design of our next glass as we look to relaunch our web shop, which is a project that's been on the back burner for a long time, but it will ignite eventually. And we're going to be looking for a glass that suits all styles. We don't want to make a Pilsner glass. We don't want to make an IPA glass.
No. It's a Swiss Army glass, isn't it? It does everything.
Yeah.
But we also want to pack in information into the glass as well, don't we?
Yeah. So we're going to be focusing on what goes round the glass to make the drinking experience better. And, it's probably going to be some kind of stemless wine glass, because we think that, happily drink a lager from that, happily drink an imperial stout, happily drink anything in between, essentially. But yeah, we're going to find a way to add enjoyment and education to that glass. And if anybody has any suggestions or thoughts, we would love to hear them before we put the order in and before we start designing. So here's up in the Discord, our Patreon forum. You can join it from $2 a month. And you can have direct input on our videos and everything, and indeed this glassware as we design it. So please let us know your thoughts. James, let us know your thoughts, what you want to see on this glass or in this glass or of this glass, and we will do our best to cater to all needs with the Swiss Army glass. Maybe that's the name of it. Maybe.
Yeah, it's not a bad name. It's not a bad name.
Swiss Army glass. No, I'm probably going to edit that out.
Swiss Army glass.
Cool. Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Obviously, next week we've got part 3, the finale of our New England double IPA Odyssey, which includes that disastrous tasting at Dig. We are going to put that in, as well as a proper tasting of it, because it is tasting great. And then I think probably soon after that we'll be getting into the content that we filmed with Kyle, which is really, really exciting. And more details about the documentary will be forthcoming as we firm up timelines and stuff for the special things we're doing around it. That's why we can't tell you yet, because we can't give you the important information as yet, but we're getting there. Anything to add that isn't toenail based, Brad?
I'm going on a stag do in Folkestone tomorrow.
Way!
So yeah. Oh, that was what I forgot to say. So I've injured my toe, I'm going skateboarding, Johnny. I've got a skateboarding lesson in the world's first multi-story skate park, which is in Folkestone. So it's got different floors.
Brad's going to be dead by the end of the weekend.
I'm an old man.
Don't go in sandals.
Do you know what, man? I'm taking my rollerblades with me because I don't think I can skateboard. And I don't fancy...
Because you're a cool dude.
I don't fancy damaging my coccyx for lols, I'm like, I can actually Well, I used to be able to like pop some grinds and shit on my inlines, bro. So, you know.
What an image.
Pretty cool,
Handsome
right?
Brad.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Oh, my God.
Popping, grinding.
Yeah, popping
down
and
the skate
grinding.
park on his rollerblades.
Popping.
Did you have like a Sony Walkman and
I had a Sony
headphones
Discman
and...
at one point, which I loved.
Ah,
that
Discman.
was amazing. It's beautiful. It's blue, anodized. Like, I'm guessing it was aluminium. Actually, it might have been some sort of steel. But it was...
It probably would have skipped if you were rollerblading, though, wouldn't it?
No skip. No skip on a mini disc. No skip. Not with my smooth lines.
Oh, mini discs.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Sorry.
Not with my smoothness, Johnny. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You know that one. You know that now. So, yeah. Please,
I know it now.
Pray for me. Pray for me that I don't properly muller myself. But yeah.
I will. And I'll pray for your toe as well. Just get some trainers.
I've got trainers, Johnny.
Just get some trainers.
I just melting
them
in the friggin' heat wave. But at least that's sort of
my God.
touch wood, hopefully over now. But yeah, good stuff.
Fingers crossed. Yeah. Right. Well, we will see you next week for the finale, and of course the next episode of Friday 5 p.m, which will probably be a solo one, maybe recorded in the hospital as I pray for Brad's life.
God,
after he tried to pop and grind in sandals. Right. Yes. I don't know how to end this. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast, or whatever it is. This outro. So yeah, I'm just gonna maybe fade this out like a song from the 70s. The Bubble and Friday 5pm podcasts are brought to you by the nerds behind YouTube's craft beer channel. You can watch over 400 mini documentaries at youtube.com/the craft beer channel, and if you love what we do, support us via Patreon and get access to merchandise and our amazing Discord forum, a positive and welcoming space for everyone who loves beer, food and homebrewing. Love and beer.